Welcome to Rom Wills, Money Matters. Don't allow your debt to get out of control. Your debt is major. That's really what messes people up. They get into debt. And you can get into debt multiple ways. I mean, automatically, if you're like buying a house, you're in debt. Or you're buying a car, in many cases, even if you're buying a used car, you're in some debt, you know? Usually if your credit cards get out of control, as soon as you can't pay off that credit card, get it to zero balance, you're in debt. Don't allow it to get out of control. Now, I can understand. It's understandable if you have some debt. Like if you buying a house, you're in debt. Very, 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 very few people can pay cash for a house. Very few people. They can pay cash for a house. Even some millionaires can't do that. When you buy a car, unless you buying it from, like you paying a whole lot of money, I don't know, a few thousand for one of those places you can get a car like that. And incidentally, as a tangent, if you do go to one of those places, take a mechanic with you, make sure that car works, all right? But unless you're getting a car from there, usually in debt there. And then, let's just be real, a lot of people living off their credit cards. All right, it can be understandable. Stuff comes up, you want to buy something, even when you have a budget, you still might want to, some of the fellas, you might want to take that woman out to a nice place to eat. Some of y'all ladies who watching this, you want to get those nice pair of shoes, because I know what shoes mean for y'all. Yeah. All right, you got something. If you got something, that's understandable. Keep it under control. And the best notion to keep your debt under control is always keep it to the point you can pay something on it, or even pay a little bit more on it every month. Like, I'm gonna be real with y'all. Debt hit me, when I had my stroke last year. I still had to pay, even with insurance, you still got to pay something here and there. Okay, fine. Okay. It is what it is. But it's under control. It's under control, and I still pay a little bit extra on my credit cards and stuff like that. But see, some people don't. Like one of the things I would say, always pay more than the minimum, because you'll pay the minimum, but then look up and all of a sudden you paying a lot more. You don't want to do that. You want to always pay a little bit extra on your credit cards, just a little bit extra, even if you ain't using them. In fact, I would say this. With some of your credit cards, ask yourself which ones you don't need to use. Maybe keep a couple out that you use on a regular basis, and of course keep the debt on that, but keep a couple that you don't use, put them away. Some people will put them on ice, literally. Yeah, I don't know. That's not something I would do, because in case there was an emergency. But I still put them in. That is a little, I'll say a little safe that I would keep them in. I would keep the stuff in, so, a safe, y'all, a safe. But, you still keeping it under control, because that's where a lot of people get caught up. They get caught up in debt, and then, you get letters and stuff from all these like companies saying, hey, we'll help you with your debt. And of course, that's creating another debt. You want to keep it under control. You want to keep it within budget. In fact, you can budget out how you're going to pay it. Now, here's a way, and I've talked about this before, how to pay down that debt. First, take the highest amount. You still want to pay a little bit more than your minimum due, but like not on your home or your car. Well, sometimes you can do that. You can put your car in here. Take the debt that's the highest, put the most on that per month, while still keeping up your others, right? Well, no, let me switch that around. Let me switch them around. I'm sorry, because that was just another way. Start with your easiest debt first. Pay that off. Pay that off, right? Then go to the next one, and then the next one. Take the money that you were putting on the one that you're paying off, and then go to the next one. And then go to the next one. You know? And you still want to pay a little bit more than the minimum due. But you still, and that's paying off your debt. But, you know, and that can still be tough. You still want to keep it under control. You don't want to be in a situation where you paying more than you can afford. Because then all of a sudden you look up and it's like, wait a minute, you got all this debt. And you don't want to be in that position. You know, first you have a budget. In fact, create a budget just to pay your debt. Because I talked about budget in the last episode about paying your regular bills. You want to get a budget just to pay your debt. In fact, because look, I'm gonna just be honest. I know it's very easy to say, like, don't have the debt. Yeah, but stuff happens. Stuff comes up. You know, you know, your car needs some work or something, or there's an emergency or something, and don't let there be a medical emergency. Oh my goodness, I went through that. Even then, I got my debt under control. I still have it, but I have it under control, you know? But you want to always keep it to the point you can always pay it every month. And even if you have to cut back on some of the stuff that might have created that debt, like if you got to get a home or you paying a home, okay, that's understandable. And you need a car, you need a decent car to get to and from places, probably to go to work and everything. Okay, those are understandable. But cut off some of the other stuff. And I'm gonna get into like a big thing a lot of people get into in the next episode. But keep your debt under control. That's how a lot of people get in trouble. That's how a lot of people all of a sudden they miss some payments. All of a sudden you got that obnoxious like bill collector calling you or something. And, you know, and you might have to play some games saying, oh, I don't know that person or something like that. And, or they ringing the phone all the time. I've been there. I ain't gonna lie. I've been there. Like, I've been in that situation. It's not a good one. But what I did was just take my time and get everything back under control. And for a long time didn't really have any real debt. But like I said, you know, you could have a medical emergency, something can come up, you know. And technically even buying a house, people say buying a house, hey, that's debt. Like I said, very few people, very few people can pay cash for a home. So you in a debt there. You think you buying the home, you don't quite own it. That bank owns the home. That bank owns it, so you gotta take care of that. Like, you wanna keep your debt to the stuff that you need. Not that you want, but that you need, you had to have a debt for, okay? And even that, look to pay that off. Look to pay that off, all right? But don't let it get to the point where it's out of control, okay? So, that's all I have for today. Y'all know the deal. Let's go make that money.